Early on in my career, I was lucky enough to be introduced to something known as the Pareto principle, or it's actually the 80-20 rule, I guess, is maybe some ways that you guys might hear it. And we'll talk about this little coin a little bit later on, but the 80-20 rule. Again, it's called the Pareto principle by some really smart people who do stats, but it basically is kind of that scenario that says that, hey, 80% of your results in sales come from about 20% of your efforts, which I guess that means that about the other 80% of your efforts are pretty much in vain. Is that what it's saying? Probably. But anyway, obviously this can be used in many different ways. But in my experience, what I found is that, I found out that I spent about 80% of my time as a salesperson, going out there and chasing down new customers. And I only spent about 20% of my time looking, or serving, if you will, the clients that I already had. And it just, here's the thing with that. It wasn't very fulfilling. You know what I'm talking about? It's just not very fulfilling to do it in that manner. So I kind of made the decision early on that I wanted to reverse that rule. I wanted to spend, maybe 20% of my time actually soliciting and maybe 80% of my time serving my clients. Now, obviously, that's a different way of thinking, right? But I wanted to make sure that my clients got everything they needed. And I wasn't really sure how that was going to work. Like, am I going to starve? How's this going to work? But what I discovered as I started to kind of transition my business into this type of thinking is that there was a really cool added benefit to this type of thinking. It actually resulted in my clients trusting me more and feeling more confident in what I was doing, and that, obviously feeling not like a number. And they ended up sending me more business, referrals. So that was pretty fantastic. But in order to achieve this goal, I eventually had made this decision, of course, that I wanted to make my business as much as I could, well, I'd hope to be, entirely referral based by building a network of, clients and, of course, business professionals out there that could help me, right, while I focused on helping them. Now, obviously, I had to build a pretty big network before I saw things change, but fortunately for me, it was one of those principles that I was really dedicated to, and, with a lot of hard work, I did. I slowly saw my solicitation to service ratio go from, 80% solicitation, 20% service to 70-30, 60-40, and eventually I got to a place where the 80-20 worked for me, but it was 80% serving clients and only 20%, soliciting. So that was pretty cool. I liked that. I was able to rely on referrals from my business network and my clients. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that we actually installed this same type of thinking internally into our organization. At that time, I owned a mortgage company and I had about 45 originators that worked for me. And we installed this for each particular mortgage loan originator. We had them create their own individual network group, which I'll explain how this works. And within about 6 months, we saw production for each mortgage loan originator that far exceeded really even their own expectations. And I'm going to tell you something. There is nothing more satisfying, nothing more liberating, right, than that type of scenario. Because here's the thing, business all of a sudden becomes fun, right? Fun and satisfying for everyone because, now you're dealing with people who knew somebody else that trusted them enough, right? They trusted them enough to say, hey, call Aaron, man, he's great. He can help you with that mortgage or whatever it is that you sell, right? Minus that typical concern of losing that potential referral or client, right, to them shopping around. And, it was more liberating because now everybody was in more control. They had more control of their leads. It made them less reliant on the company, which made them, of course, more independent. And it reminds me of something a really friendly waiter in Cancun once told me. I used to love to go to Cancun, Mexico. I still do. I just haven't been down there in a while. But he said, as they say in Mexico, he who has the pesos has the say-sos. So what I mean is having that type of control, it allowed everyone more freedom, to spend more time with family and with friends. And of course, it also significantly increased the income for them, which is kind of a big deal. That's what we all want. This, my friends, is the epitome of working smarter, not harder. Okay? Hear me on that. It's the epitome of working smarter, not harder. So that being said, right, I'm going to talk to you today about how to build a steady stream of referrals through building a team of local, like-minded business professionals utilizing the Cheddar Stacks platform, right? Now, the platform consists of a really, really cool mobile application. I'm super excited about this, and a web portal that attaches with it, which is used to send referrals to other people within the group. It is used to receive referrals from other people within the group. It is used to track referrals and revenue amongst the group, as well as your own revenue and referrals that you're receiving as well, which is really, really cool. All right. It also includes a massive amount of available support for my team, and of course training from me and from Aunt Sue and some of the other trainers in here in both a live format and anytime video-based training, which is what we're doing here right now. So I'm going to teach you how to not only get more referrals from outside sources, but I'm also going to teach you how to get more referrals from your existing clients. And the best part is, it's not going to cost you anything, right? Nothing. All I need from you is the commitment to see this through. And listen, you know what? Sometimes we start things and we're all excited about it, right? We're like, man, we're just gonna go, I'm gonna light the world on fire, right? But you know what happens? Self-doubt starts to creep in. It's like that self-doubt worm gets into your brain, man. Listen, if you have self-doubt creep in, all of a sudden you feel like, I don't know if I can do this, call me personally. If you can't get a hold of me, call Aunt Sue here at the office, right? If you can't get her, talk to one of my team members. But at the very least, find yourself a nice string cheese course here on the on the mobile. Excuse me, did I say mobile? On the website at cheddarstacks.com. All right, log in and find yourself one of those really good courses that can help you get yourself back on track. So what I'm trying to say here is that I want to spend about 80% of my time serving you, and only 20% of my time looking for new clients. And I know from past experience that the rest is just going to work itself out.